Now we are going to make the neck ring for Obi Wan's lightsaber. The neck ring is the ring that sits right on the neck of his lightsaber here as shown. So to make this piece, take your 1.5" chrome extension tube and make a mark 1/4 inch from the non-flared top. What I mean by non-flared is that this side here, see, has a flared section, and this side here has a non-flared section. So make a mark from the top here, you don't have to make a line, and wrap paper around this area. Place the paper just before the 1/4 inch mark and use your Dremel cutoff tool and cut right before the paper, right on the tape. Once the cut is complete, deburr the edges of your new ring. And here is our 1/4 inch neck ring here for our lightsaber. Now I have already sanded the inside of this here with 320 grit sandpaper. So right now I am prepping it for gluing. So let's trial fit this onto our handle. And as we can see here, it does fit rather loose, but that's okay. Now just like our toilet tank overflow tube and our rubber slip joint washers, we're going to have to make it fit properly. So what you're going to do is, on your 1/4 inch neck ring, just cut one side, fit it over your handle section, squeeze it together, and look to see how much material you are going to have to cut off. Once you get that, mix up a batch of perm epoxy, and you're going to epoxy your ring here onto your handle. Now, when you glue this, the front of your neck ring here is going to be sitting 1/16 of an inch back from the front of your handle. And when you also glue this ring onto your handle, make sure that where the ring butts up, that they're going to be meeting on the back end of your saber, and let the epoxy cure. And here is our neck ring here on our Obi Wan handle. It's glued into place, it's really nice and tight, so I'm very happy with this. If you also notice here on the back section of my saber, there is also the seam of the body ring. So just keep that in mind, so you know it'll just look cosmetically good later on. Also, just above the of the body ring here, there is a smaller body ring on the main body of Obi Wan's lightsaber. So here I made up the piece here. It's about 1/16 of an inch wide, and the way I make it is simple. The same way that you made your body ring here for your handle, just make it the same way for your 1-inch PVC pipe. So, and how do I get this measurement here? Very simple. Just take a grip pattern, put it into your handle. Make sure that the bottom of your PVC here is flush with the bottom of your scutchons piece here, the bottom of your handle. Make sure that your pencil marks are all lined up. And with that, just cut your ring at 1/16 of an inch and then just glue it right into place as it is. You do not need much glue at all, and just use a piece of tape just to kind of squeeze it together to hold it in place. So when you have all that glued, you know, simply you could just put it right in, it's going to stop, and then, you know, that's pretty much it. Now we are going to work on our emitter section. Take your PVC grip pattern and place it inside your handle. Take a ruler and measuring from the handle, not the forward neck ring, make a 3/4 inch mark and a 3 7/8 inch mark. This 3/4 inch mark will show the location where the bottom of our emitter is going to sit. This 3 7/8 inch section here, you're going to cut off. If you want to, you can just cut just a bit before, like right over here. In case if your cuts on PVC pipe are not that straight, you could always sand them down. Once you have that cut, just discard this piece or save it, you know, in case you have any future projects in which you want to use it for. And here we have the beginning of our emitter section. Now after I cut my PVC pipe here, I did sand it down so I can make it look nice and clean. Now as you notice also here, I do have my rubber slip joint washers here installed on my PVC pipe. So I'm going to talk about this for a bit. Take one rubber slip joint washer and place it just above the mark here of your 3/4 inch mark. Now if I was to give a measurement for this, between the top of your PVC pipe and the top of this rubber slip joint washer is 2 13/16 inches here. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect on here, you know, because the emitter itself is going to cover this up. Now as for these two rings here, it's very important. From the top of this bottom rubber slip joint washer here to the top of your PVC pipe is approximately 2 inches. Now let me show you what's going on with this. Here's my emitter section, and as I place it over, my rubber slip joint washer is down to my 3/4 inch mark. You can see that in this dip section here, that I do have the first ring showing. This is what you want to have when you start putting together your emitter section. So now, when we start putting on our other rubber slip joint washers here, take a 1/16 inch drill bit and place it inside of your to separate your rubber slip joint washers here to make your emitter section. Now this way here, it'll give you nice contour lines all around. It'll be nice and smooth, and you know, this way it's going to look cosmetically great. So do this for all of your rings going right up to the top of your saber. And here is my emitter section here with the rubber slip joint washers here in place. Now I was one short, so I had to go out and buy another package. So if you want to, just go out and buy another package just to be safe. So now I want to take my emitter body over here, and with my 3 fingers here pointing upward, I'm going to place it over the rubber slip joint washers. Just kind of get it lined up for now, and there we have it. Now it's starting to look like Obi Wan's lightsaber. So Obi Wan does have a ring here at the top of his emitter section, so now we're going to make that. Take one of your escutcheons, measure a 1/2 inch up from the bottom and make a ring all the way around, and cut off this bottom section. Once this section is cut, sand the upper section of your escutcheon to fit snug over the 3 fingers of your emitter head. And here's your escutcheon. This is what it should look like when it's sitting on your emitter body fingers. Now it is snug in place, which is good. And next you're going to measure a 1/4 inch up from the bottom here, make a line all the way around, and again cut and sand that area. And when you're done sanding, remember, always deburr your edges. And here is your newly formed emitter ring on my emitter body fingers. So now you are going to glue your emitter ring onto your fingers, and this is how. First, sand your fingers and the inside of your emitter ring with 320 grit sandpaper. Wipe off any excess dust. Then mix up a batch of perma-epoxy and make sure that your emitter ring is sitting just above your emitter body fingers here, and then place glue on the inside between the fingers and your emitter ring here as shown. So this way, when it cures, that this ring will be inseparable from the emitter body. Now also, as a good point of reference here, taking my saber, I'm just setting it up in place. Make sure I meet up with my marks. What's also a very good point of reference here is that this here is my first rubber slip joint washer. Well, as I bring this down, notice how the bottom of my emitter ring meets up with the bottom of my first rubber slip joint washer. This will give me the perfect measurement here, and that you can see that my 3/4 inch mark here is met with the bottom of my emitter here. So this is how you want it to look. And also, if you notice on my saber that the PVC pipe here is sticking above my emitter ring, it's fine, because when I fill this in later on after I paint this, you know, I don't want any glue pouring to the inside of the PVC pipe. So moving along. And now we are ready to paint our lightsaber. Take your handle section, sand down the body again with 320 grit sandpaper. If you have any high epoxy spots here around your escutcheons and your bottom body tubes, sand those flat and smooth. In your dip section here in your saber, in case if it's rough or if you have pits in here, just take some epoxy, mix it up, place it inside your dip section. When it cures, sand it smooth. And for your upper body ring over here, for your body ring here, sand this with 320 grit sandpaper, get down any high epoxy spots, and wipe this down with a damp cloth and make sure that it is dust free. With our pommel section, sand it down with 320 grit sandpaper, sand down any high epoxy spots, and in case if you have an activation button here for your saber blade in the future, just tape this up so that you won't get any paint on it. Make sure that this piece is also dust free. For the main body here for your lightsaber, it's pretty much already sanded here except for your upper body ring here, but this piece here just sand down with 320 grit sandpaper. Make sure that you get down any high epoxy spots, And for your rubber slip joint washers, you don't have to sand those. You could just leave them the way that it is. Make sure that this piece is also dust free. And finally, for our actual emitter itself here, sand it down with 320 grit sandpaper. Sand your emitter ring with 320 grit sandpaper, and also the inside of your emitter ring here, tape it up so that you will not get any paint on the inside, and make sure that it is free of any dust here. Just wipe it down with a damp cloth. Now for Obi Wan's lightsaber, in case if you are using the Rust-Oleum paint, just paint the lightsaber with its respective colors, and it should come out just fine. But for me, I'm using the Killer Chrome by the Alsa Corporation here, so I'm going to follow their instructions on how to properly chrome my saber using this, and let me see how it turns out.